Pretty cool. I think you used to be behind you in the beginning a lot, didn't you?
I think so.
Yeah. Okay. So the only one we are missing is, here he comes. Hi, Jonathan. Of course, he can't hear me because his earbuds aren't in yet. How are all of you this morning?
Good. Pretty good.
Good.
Did you have a good weekend?
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anybody have anything they want to discuss real quick about their weekend?
I do.
Go ahead, Stefan.
I got my Xbox 360 account to finally work.
Awesome. Can you sit still?
Yes.
Thank you. So did you get your new one?
My new Xbox account?
Yeah.
No, it's an old one that wouldn't work, and all I had to do was re-download it again. It just took a lot of time to do it.
Well, that's awesome. I know your dad's wanting to get you the new one, but he's waiting for a reasonable price, huh?
Yeah, he's also waiting for him to get in stock, but I'm patient about that. I'm not hassling him for that.
Good, because I know at the beginning of Christmas, people would stand in those lines forever, and they go in a store and like they'd only have two in the whole store. Okay. Anybody else have anything they'd like to say?
I went to the snow this weekend.
And how was that?
Good. The cabin we went to was like really big. Like there was like 9 rooms in the house, 2 downstairs and like 9 upstairs.
Wow, that sounds pretty fancy.
Yeah, it was good. I had fun because it was my first time in the South.
Oh, really? Did you build a snowman?
No.
Eleanor, you had your hand up.
I want to the birthday party
For who?
for my cousin.
Oh, okay. I'm like, I know it wasn't yours. Don't scare me like that. Yvonne and John, I don't even have your twos on my list, so I'm so sorry if I've already missed them. When?
Mine's in July, so no problem.
Okay, John, July what?
July 16th.
July 7/16. Miss Yvonne, when is yours?
October 14th.
Oh, I totally did. Tell me. I know I should probably remember from years before, but I just don't always. Sorry about that.
I think I told you guys when it was my birthday.
Yeah,
Pretty
if
sure.
I don't make it to a list, I mean, just my paper lists right here sometimes get further, sometimes they don't. But if I get it
no
actually
worries.
typed in, I got it. Okay.
Next year.
Next time around. Okay, so a few things to talk with y'all about today. I don't believe I have any share screens, but boy, we're busy, huh? And I think I've always told you, if you think you're busy the first half of the year, wait till the second half of the year. It's busier than the first one. I know, we go kind of crazy. So I was grading all the homework this weekend, and I noticed a couple missing things. And so, Sam, first up, I know I already gave you your grade, but the defining my disability and the journal prompts 1215 to 1218, I did not receive those.
It's because the classroom I did them, but it probably got deleted.
What happened? What'd you say?
Do you remember you said that our class? I said I did them. I did turn them in, but I think they got deleted because our old class we used to have on here.
You know, I got your first half, but not your second at all. And I hear you saying classroom, but I know everyone in the classroom turned them in too. So I'm not sure. And there was one of them I emailed you that I'd like you to work with one of us just to make sure you understood it. And you're not alone. You were just the first one I came to. But most of you are doing really well. Tyler and Clad, you're missing the understanding your paycheck.
Ah, yes.
Okay, let's not start behind, okay? Because like I said,
It's mine already.
I know we're revving up, right? We got a lot to do, and I just really hope you'll all try your hardest to keep up, or let us know if you need help keeping up, okay?
All right.
And then the only DMV test number 1 that I got was from Andrew. Great job, Andrew. When do the rest of you plan on turning that one in?
I thought I turned that one in.
I should already be turned in as well.
I mean, I went through all of it this weekend. Go ahead, Nathan.
Are you speaking about the first team test we did, or the second?
The first one.
Okay, because mine should be turned in because it was the same night I did it with the understand my paycheck one.
Yeah, I got that one.
Okay.
So I can look again. We know I'm not the greatest at this, but usually if I go in, I go in and I grade everyone that has been turned in. And then that second DMV, were you all, or were any of you able to open the link?
We're talking about the second DMV test?
Yeah, I sent you a link. I believe I sent it on Friday because I could get the PowerPoint up easy from in Google Docs, right? But I'm having a real hard time trying to get the test to you. So basically I'm going to be rewriting all of those too. But I found a way to send it to you in a link, and then I opened the link and it showed the test. And then one person, Jonathan's dad, they requested, what is it? Yvonne, you know this one, they have to request access. They didn't have those kind of buttons with that. So I sent access, but I don't know if it worked. Jonathan, was your dad able to print the second DMV test?
No.
Okay, so I would like you DMV guys, and do we have girls? Yes, Jordan, because she's back. To check on that and let me know if you can open it. And if not, I'll send it another way. Okay?
I'll check on it.
I can also, so how many of you like me to send the self-evaluations every week?
I kind of like that.
Okay, so I will send that out after our class, okay? And then Yvonne and John, I didn't get any student reports.
Oh yeah, I'm actually I'm in the middle of it, but I'll get it to you by the end of the day.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
And so my goal, I'm just crazy with prep here. My goal is to send your first paycheck on Friday. Okay, because I plan on you getting paid at the 15th and the end of the month for the new thing we're starting. But we're not going to pay bills this time because it's good to get a little bit of money in your bank before you start paying the bills. And since this one isn't even a complete paycheck, I think we won't start writing bills until the end of the month. Might be the first. What else do I have here? Our presentation topics I want to talk about. And I asked for anyone to send me interview questions, and nobody did. So we're going to go on my bigger list this morning, and some of these questions you'll have practiced for, and some of them you won't, but that's how we're going to go. And if someone wants to send me a copy of those interview questions, it'd be awesome. If not, my copy has a lot more questions. Okay? After that, I thought this said reindeer. It says reminders of the selfies and pet pics. Did anyone happen to take any selfies or pet pics?
I mean, pictures of our pets or what?
Yeah, because remember I talked about, this is for Laura Ruff for the yearbook. So don't take a picture with your pet. It'd be a picture of your pet, and they were going to try to match the person with the pet.
Mine's kind of hard.
Why is that?
I have 3 cats, and one of them is pretty old, so.
Well, get what you can. But don't put a person in the pet pic. Go ahead, Stefan.
Is it optional? Just asking.
Do you have a pet?
No, I had one, but she passed away. But I'm just asking if it's optional.
For the yearbook?
Yes.
Well, don't you want your friends to go, oh, look, I haven't seen Stefan in a while. He looks cool. You don't want anything like that? You don't want to have
I don't normally do the yearbook. No. If I have to, then I will.
Well, how many of you would like to have a picture in the yearbook? Raise your hand. I see 5, 6. Okay, so this is a picture I can't take for you. Okay, so I'm not gonna require it. It really helps us for showing Project Search, right? But I mean, I guess I won't make you do it. But if you would like to do it, I mean, he really needs those by like this week. And my son is out there being a real brat this morning, so I hope this goes okay. The fight over the slice of the cheese is crazy here.
Yeah, I would suggest you might want to keep your eyes. You might want to be alert just in case if he comes over.
Yeah, in case of attack. Yeah, yeah, he's just walking by grumbling and being mad right now. So.
Where do we send those pictures when we have them?
Well, I'm wondering, should we send them to us then to send them to Tyler, or should you just send them to Tyler? Tyler at Laura Rupp.
Yeah, I kind of assumed that.
Not just Tyler. Although Tyler could probably put those together and send them to that Tyler.
That would be nice.
I can always send it to that Tyler.
Okay. All right, so don't bombard him, but you know, make sure it's a good pick if you don't want me to look at them first. Go ahead, Yvonne.
You're muted.
You're muted. Can't hear you. You gotta unmute.
It's still muted for some reason.
We can't hear a word.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
There you
Oh,
go.
gosh. Okay.
It looks, expressive.
Sorry. Okay. So I found the interview questions, and they're the ones that the managers are going to ask the students, right? Is that the ones you want?
Yes. And we had it down to like 10 or 12 or something like that, I believe.
Well, I have one that has 9 questions.
Okay. Well, for this morning, I think I'm gonna ask these and put you out of your comfort zones a little bit. But yes, if you could send that to me, we could get it.
Okay, I'll share it with you on Google Docs.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure.
What else do I have here? So resumes and interview questions. If we can't get resumes done on time, we just have to get them done soon. But the shared. Yeah, I'm afraid to go in there right now. I could look in chat, but I see that you shared something, but it's like it's not set up.
Oh no, that's just the questions, the interview questions. I actually have like a whole bunch of these. I don't know why I've got so many, but I just sent you the first one I pulled up that is just the questions.
Well, because we've done a lot. Some of them we do like for actual jobs, some we do for Kaiser. Okay, so the interview questions have to be in, and I think we were going to do them on what date? 118 or 125, the interview?
125.
Okay, so we need all the interview questions in with you practicing them, right? And maybe showing me some rough drafts along the way would be great by 122. Okay? And I know we haven't started on our presentation speeches yet, but they're going to be due 2-1.
Okay.
Okay. So, anyone have questions on any of that right now? That was a lot. That was more than a mouthful.
Hold on. Okay, so the interview questions are due January 22nd, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I would love to have resumes in too, but that's probably too crazy of me.
Yeah. So when is the resumes due by?
Well, like I said, I would like them due by 122, but if not, we just as soon as we can. I mean, we're not actually applying for jobs at the moment, but we can't practice the interviews without the questions, right? So do you all have in your day planners that on 125 the interviews begin?
I already have it down.
Yeah, I can work on that to get it more. I guess maybe after we do our first day, because I don't know how many interviews we'll get through. then I could kind of let you know kind of what day yours would be, right? But we'll keep going until we get them done. It's good to do it a couple times. Go ahead, Andrew.
Is this going to be a practice interview or?
This is going to be on here, right? We talked about the peer evaluations. So we are going to interview you.
Oh, okay.
Tony, what is your problem, darling?
The date is 125, right?
125, yes, on Andrew's birthday.
So,
right, Andrew?
okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. I just wanted to know that.
And on the day of your interview, you will be dressed in interview clothes, right? And I'm going to send out this peer evaluation thing, and I did read it to you once. So these are the things that you're going to be getting judged on, right? It's going to be your appearance, your introduction, if you're smiling, if you're giving eye contact, your posture. Miss Jordan, please sit up.
I'm going to have to
Link
practice
to
on
your
this one.
answers, like if they're only 1 or 2 words, we're going to need a little bit more than that. If you used positive words, how you exited the interview, and then you're going to give positive feedback. So each one of you will be doing one of these for each person that interviews. Okay?
I'm going to need to practice on smiling.
These things are really important in an interview, right? Just that first chance to make that good impression. So what I would like to work on in class this morning are the questions that I have here. I have 25, but I'm not using at least like 5 of them, but this one is bigger. So you all are going to just kind of have to off the cuff this morning, but you might want to take some notes on what you did right, what you did wrong, what you do different next time. Okay?
All right.
I'm just going to go in order, and Andrew, you're luckily going to get the one we practiced the most. Are we ready? Are we ready?
No.
Wait,
Yeah! Yes, Stefan?
I'm going to number them. How many of them are there?
Well, I circled these. I'm probably going to ask you about 20 today, but we'll get it down to like around 10 or so. Okay, but remember when you go to interviews or even your interviews at Kaiser, if we hopefully get in there for an internship, some of them will ask you the questions I give them, right? And some will ask their own questions. And so you can't just have like those 10 memorized and think you're good to go. You have to be able to answer what they ask. Right? So
yes.
we want to get as much of this practice in as we can before you're really sitting there for interviews. Because then the more you practice, the less nervous you get. Right? So Andrew, tell me about yourself.
I'm hardworking. It's actually going to be kind of hard to remember.
Okay. You can't go in interviews like that, right? And we practice this one pretty much like crazy. Okay, so I can come back to you, and that's probably the easiest thing that I'm going to ask you. Okay, so that one will definitely be on there, all of you. Tell me about yourself. You've all written your 30-second commercials. You wrote the things for, you've done a lot of this already. Okay?
That question is easy for me.
All right, Stefan, tell me about yourself.
Well, I'm very social. I like to work. I'm very loving when it comes to my employees.
Loving?
Yes.
That would be a word I would not use in an interview. Okay?
Oh.
That's great you feel that way, but you have to be really careful.
Okay.
It could be in some people might think of that as like a sexual harassment thing or something, where it's just you being kind, right? And it's okay. And with us, you can say that you're loving, but I would maybe say I work really well with my coworkers, or I care about others, or something like that. And you would sit very still. Okay?
My apologies.
That's all right. That's why we work on these things, right? So would you like to try that again from the top?
Yes.
Okay. Hi, Stefan.
Hello, Miss Sherry.
Tell me about yourself.
I like working with others. I'm a very hard worker. When I have a task, I see it to the end.
Okay, so another thing is we're going to ask you a lot of things like that. Remember when they say, tell me about yourself, they do want to know some things about you, right? You enjoy your Xbox and taking bike rides. This is the one question where it's going to have some stuff about you. Yes, Eleanor?
Can I get paper towel, please?
What's that?
Paper towel.
Paper towel.
She needs to grab a paper towel.
Sure, go grab a paper towel. We'll be here when you get back.
I wasn't okay.
I'm not trying to, Stefan, I appreciate you and everything you're saying. I'm just here to help you.
I understand.
Right?
My dad's always told me when it comes to an interview, I have to like answer questions that involve work and not home. So I assume that the questions
This is
would
the only question that will be like that, okay? The other ones you will keep. And you can still say those things, but you're going to find you're probably going to be repeating that if you say it right there in that first one. Tell me about yourself, because a lot of questions are going to ask more specific things about your work, right?
All right, I think I got it now.
Okay, on your mark, get set, go.
Hello, Miss Sherry.
Hello, Stefan. Tell me about yourself.
Well, I like playing Xbox sometimes, hanging out with friends, going to the park, and just enjoying life in general.
Okay, good. So let's go to Miss Jordan. Now this one takes research, okay? So for this one, you can either pretend it is Kaiser, or you could pretend it's the kind of job you want to apply for. Okay, and I won't have you answer this one right now, but this takes research. It says, why do you want to work for this company? So any company you're applying for, you should know something about before you go into the interview, right? Like with Kaiser, right, Andrew? You were born in this hospital. You've been a Kaiser member. You think Kaiser is amazing because this, and this, you know. Right? Because Kaiser in particular likes to hear their name. But I think all businesses like to hear their name a little bit and why you think they're awesome, right? So I'm not going to ask you to answer that one right now, but that is a question people will ask you. So number 3 to Jordan, what are your special skills or abilities?
I'm hardworking. I'm on time. I get along with others. I'm a fast worker, which sometimes that's not good, because if I'm a fast worker, half the time when staff's trying to find me to tell me what to do, I'm like already done with that task and on to another one. I'm like, okay, done with that one, go that way now.
Okay, so we'll figure out the wording for that, but that is a very honest answer. Go ahead, John.
I think you work fast and are efficient. The word efficient is really important. Because if you just work fast, then that's not good enough, right? You have to be efficient.
Yes. All right, Eleanor, what are your goals for the next 5 years?
My swim?
Your goals. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
I will see mine, and so I can work.
To be working?
In Taco Bell. Yep. Spend our time.
Done with school, working at a job?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Working at.
Let's see. Sam, why did you leave your last job? Gotta unmute for you.
Because I work for because they did only let me work for certain times.
So you mean you couldn't get enough hours, or?
Yes.
Okay. So one thing I noticed there, and this is really hard, and a lot of people do it. You really, hopefully, you're not going to start with We're going to try not to use too many ums or yas or like, right? Okay. So, Plaid, you are Plaid.
Yes.
Why should I hire you for this job?
You should hire me because I feel like I am most suited for this type of job, and I feel like if you were to hire me, I can do this job in the most utmost fashion and in the fastest way imaginable.
Okay, so staff, you have your work cut out. You know, I like how you started out, Plaid, just nice and positive. There were no stutters,
No hesitation.
But I do think we need to work on the answer a little bit. But I love.
I know, but the idea is I'm trying to go for a more upbeat and like idealistically a positive attitude when it comes to like that type of question.
Okay, and you do come across very positive. Okay, Devin, describe a school or work-related problem you had to face recently. One thing is plugging that in so we can hear you, right? Can't hear you.
I think he has to go down to that button again where you go next to the mute button where he's selecting the microphone.
Go to the button, Devin.
The button calls for you.
Okay.
Okay, good.
There we go.
Can you hear me?
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Quietly answers, okay? So you
Okay.
Devin?
Yeah.
Okay. Describe a school or work-related problem you had to face recently.
I had to face the mess that you had to clean up.
What mess?
When something, like for example, when you work at the grocery store as the employee, you have to like, when you see the bottles glash and splat over, you have to clean it up.
Okay, and see.
If it's no longer your responsibility.
But it would be your responsibility, right?
No.
It wouldn't be? Why?
It would be.
It would be, yeah. I remember we talked so long about who's that guy, Justin, right? The whole mess, whether it was his fault or not, right? The good employee and team player would assist in the cleanup and would not just like walk by it saying, well, that's not my job, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, someone could slip and fall, and so it's important to like put a cone there or something.
Or a wet floor sign.
Yeah.
Help clean up, right? Or notify your manager.
Yeah.
Like in Kaiser, the very first thing they want you to do is put down that cone, and then if you can't do it yourself, they want you to notify someone. They actually want you to stand there so that no one falls, right? And hopefully, like an employee is going to walk by, that you can say, "Hey, could I please get some help? I'm standing here, so no one will slip and fall, and we need to get this." So you don't even want to really just leave it out there in the hallway by yourself to go get the stuff to clean it up, because you need to protect the people that could be getting hurt from it. Okay, good job. And remember, you won't have all those, but because I didn't have it, I'm like, we're just going to go through these for today. All right? Let's see who's next on my list. Nathan. Good morning.
Yes.
George?
Good morning, Miss Sherry.
Up, my dear. Okay, I didn't want to stop you when Devin was talking, okay? All right, Nathan. Give me an example of a time you did more than what was required of your job.
I did more of what was required of my job when I worked at PetSmart. When they asked me just to sort the food from bad to good, I also made sure that they were the correct brand of food.
So what do you mean bad or good? You mean by
As in, like the date?
The expiration date?
Expired, yes.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
I would probably use that terminology more. Okay. Hello, Royce comes up next. Royce, what was the best decision you ever made?
The best decision I ever made? Yeah, well, that is a tough one. There are a lot of best decisions I ever made. I think the best decision I ever made is taking care of my grandmother. Usually I be by myself and be alone, but I like taking care of my grandmother if she's okay.
And I think you really answered that pretty excellent. Right? I mean, not only just, I mean, he rephrased it, and that's a good way when you need more time to think rather than going, or something. Rephrase the question, just like you did, Royce, and it gives your brain a couple extra seconds to think about it, right? And you're like, that's a tough decision because I've made a lot of great decisions, but I think my best one was this. That was like pretty right on the money. Good job. All right, Tyler.
Hi, Sherry.
Yes, Andrew.
I think you're going to come back to me.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, Andrew. Tell me about yourself.
I'm hardworking. I like to ride my bike a lot. I've already forgot.
That's right.
Lost track.
It's good to have 3, right? You know, like I tell you in your writing, I like to have a dot, and dot when possible. And so far as that talking about yourself personally, and Stefan, you sit still. Stefan, I mean, you are right in a lot of jobs. They don't want to hear about your personal stuff. But at Kaiser, for example, they do like to know something about your personal stuff.
At least Tony does.
They all do, though. They like to get to know you. EBS, Doug, he likes to hear those things too.
Yeah.
They like to know something that they can have conversation with you about that's not just telling you what to do, right? So that's a big debate. I mean, Yvonne and John, what do you think? I mean, some people say you never talk about personal stuff, and some people say you do.
I've had a few jobs where they asked me in the interview like what do I like to do and stuff like that. It's only been like 1 or 2, but actually I think it's good if you actually want to get to know your employee, like you want to know actually who they are. So
okay, Yvonne, what's your thought?
I'm trying to think back on my latest interviews, and before I got the job with the school district, one of the questions was, and I can't remember if it was not Dale, who's the other one? Julia. I can't remember if she asked me this or because I interviewed at a middle school as well, and one of the interviews asked me, the only personal thing to talk about my personal self was this question. It was, tell me your best, what's the word, attribute or your best quality
aspect
and your worst quality. And
that's a little personal.
But right. But as far as that's the only kind of personal question that I have gotten recently, as far as but yeah, I don't really think they from in my experience, I haven't really gotten questions like what my hobbies are. I haven't really came across that in myself. So
Eleanor, sit still, my dear.
I am.
You are not. You're all over the place, young lady. Okay, so maybe we only do the personal stuff at Kaiser, and then other than that, we keep it professional. Because I've also worked with some job coaches. She's like, I never want to hear that. I want to hear what you can do for the job.
Yeah, that's what I think.
It might be a Kaiser only thing. And there was one I skipped over because we kind of talked about that in the beginning. What was this?
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Or a comment. Me personally, if I was in a job interview, I would never say that I played video games or like to watch TV. I wouldn't say anything like that because it makes the connotation that you're maybe lazy.
Okay. So let's keep it to professional then. Okay? Like Stefan, like your dad taught you to do. Go ahead, Yvonne.
And another thing too is when you're practicing these questions, try to stay away from anything that might come across as negative. I can't remember what Jordan said earlier, but it was like something like sometimes the staff can't find me and that's not a good thing. Never point that out.
Yeah.
Always stay, when you're talking about yourself, always stay positive. Always.
Mm-hmm. Well, I like what how Cloud did it. He was kind of selling himself.
Who?
Me.
How Cloud did it. You know, it's when you're in an interview, it's kind of like, you know, you're advertising for yourself in a way. So you want to bring out the best qualities possible.
Yeah.
I have something to say to what John said, if I may say it. I don't know how to word it. I'm trying to think. I don't even know if it's so irrelevant, but remember when you just said that we should bring up video games. I understand that, but the problem is that, you know what? Let's be honest. No, we don't get out much anymore for obvious reasons. So look,
yeah.
Mostly all I do is play video games nowadays. Besides from Project Search, that's all I really do. So if I'm being honest, that's all I've really got to say in that.
Well, I actually liked how you did it better the first time. I see Nathan, I see Yvonne. Go ahead, Nathan.
I don't know if this is like particularly true, but like I heard that when you say like sports or like Boy Scouts or something, it kind of throws out there the idea, or at least the one that's questioning you, it gives them the idea that you are a good team player.
Right. So maybe we wait and say something like this if they ask a more personal question. You know, like if they ask you, so what do you like to do in your spare time? Right? Then that would be a good time to say these things, I think, and maybe not and tell me about yourself, especially because that's their first question. Go ahead, Yvonne.
Going back to what John was saying about the not mentioning that you like to play video games or watch TV because it might give the impression of not being active, being maybe on the lazier side. And also, okay, everybody has changed since the pandemic, right? Everybody, there's so much things we cannot do because of the pandemic. So how you can answer that is you could say, before the pandemic, I used to love to ride my bike. I used to love to go camping. I'd go dancing. Well, no, not dancing, but I mean, anything that you can think of that's wouldn't be considered lazy. I mean, the only thing I think I would say about myself would be I love to read. I like to learn. You know, I like to look up things on the internet to learn different kind of things, hobbies or whatever. Make yourself sound. Well, yeah, you can use the pre-pandemic, right? Things that you used to do, and you can say, well, I can't really do it now because of the pandemic, or I don't feel safe doing it now. But these are the things I used to like to do. I love to, you know, go walking with my friends or whatever, just something more active.
So let's not talk about the personal things then on Tell Me About Yourself, okay? But if they do ask what you like to do in your personal time, you still don't want to make it all about sitting there on the computer. You want to make it something that's like, and you know, yes, you do love those things, but maybe they're not the greatest thing. Like Nathan learning how to play music, or Andrew, you too. or helping people, or like Roy said, with helping his grandma. I mean, that starts to play at people's heartstrings a little bit, which is a good thing too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, Tyler, let me find yours. See, I think I asked Royce that one. Yes. Okay.
Tyler, what's up there?
Tyler, what's up there on the ceiling?
I'm looking at my interview questions from last year.
Oh, gosh, that's pretty smart.
Yeah.
Yeah, so honest, as soon as I get this bigger one, or the smaller one that you all send me, then I won't ask all these. But to be prepared for today, this was kind of what I had to go on. So that's what we're doing. Okay.
So Sherry, if you want to send me that big one and let me know what questions you do not want on there, I can fix that for you.
Well, I know we'd already came up with that list. I know we'd already got rid of and got down to, and I think that's the one that
I sent you.
and that you have. But
Okay.
I could not find it anywhere, not in emails, not in classroom. Okay, so Tyler, but remember, you have to look at people and not up at the ceiling when you're answering your question, correct?
Right. That's why I'm gonna move it down here.
Yeah, because you got to give the eye contact. That's so important, and I'm not joking about that. Eye contact is very important. Okay, so Tyler, why are you interested in this job? Remember,
I think I would need more context to answer the question, like what
well,
job it would
you
be.
can think of the job you want to apply for. So you can either talk about an internship at Kaiser or the job you're wanting to get next. Okay? I'll give you a second. Are you coming up with one?
Well, I wanted to do EVS at the hospital.
All right, do EVS. So, Tyler, why are you interested in this job?
Because
But rephrase, right? I am interested in this job because.
I am interested in this job because I think I would be good at it, and I think I need to practice.
Okay. Just know we don't have a lot of time, right? So that's why I'm trying to just play this now. So, Jonathan, you're up next. You're going to have to give eye contact and words, okay? Okay, what job have you enjoyed the most and why?
What job?
Have you held jobs in the past? Like through workability or with your dad? Yvonne says you have. So what workability jobs have you had?
Wait, PetSmart.
What?
PetSmart.
What? Eschaton?
Sounds like he said PetSmart.
He said PetSmart, but I did have him actually with me in Eschaton as well.
Okay, so have you had those two jobs, PetSmart and Eschaton?
Yeah.
Okay, so I ask you, go back to where I was, what job did you enjoy the most and why? You would say, I enjoyed working at PetSmart because. What did you like about working at PetSmart, Jonathan? Okay, I'm not playing the little wincing game, Jonathan. What did you like about working at PetSmart? Just tell me the things.
It's
Face
clean.
themselves. Did you like working with customers? Go ahead.
I work with customers.
And
So,
I enjoyed working with customers and
cleaning.
good. Thank you. Good. Okay, so this is a two-part question though. Which job did you like least and why? Now that could be Eschaton, that could be working with your dad, because I know you didn't enjoy that for different reasons. So, Jordan, please, my dear. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, Go, Jonathan. The job I liked least was because.
Oh, because.
The job I liked the least was
Eschaton?
Eschaton because why? Because I did not like, what didn't you like about it?
Cleaning the tables?
You did not enjoy cleaning tables. Okay, so that's a job that's not for you. Good job. Thank you for giving me words. All right, we still have 15 minutes, so I'm back up to Andrew. Andrew? Hold on.
Yes.
If asked to work overtime and perform extra duties, would you?
Yes, I would, because I like doing a lot of work, so I do get the job done pretty quickly.
Okay. Now, when we do these on paper, it'll be easier for you, right? And you have most of the ones on paper. Those are the main. That's what we're going with, okay? But I went ahead and threw these out because, like I said, not every boss is gonna take the piece of paper I give them and only ask those questions, right? Okay. So next up is Jordan. Jordan, when are you available for work?
Talking about Kaiser, I'm available anytime with Kaiser through Project Search with the internship. I'm available anytime then. But actual work, I'm available from 3 to 9. Wait, no, 3 to 11.
3 to 11, and what days?
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
So would you be available for more different hours on Saturdays and Sundays?
Oh, yeah, Saturday and Sunday I'd be available from 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. on Saturday and Sunday.
So what if they open at 7 o'clock?
I'd be available then too.
So how I would probably say it is Monday through Friday, I'm available from 3 p.m. to 11 p.m. And on Saturdays and Sundays, I can work any hours, or I can be available all day.
Okay.
If you don't want to go Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So, right, since Monday through Friday is a little different for you than Saturday and Sunday is, I'd probably say on Mondays through Fridays, I'm available from 3 to 11, and I can work any hours on the weekends.
Okay.
Something like that, okay? So it's more direct and shorter, less for you to remember to say, too.
Okay.
Okay, Stefan, coming your way.
Alright.
Stefan, what would your last employer say about you? And is that how you're going to sit in the interview?
No.
It was frozen on my side.
You and I are sitting across the desk at an interview, okay? So you need to face me, right? You're still kind of at an angle there.
He's frozen.
Stefan. Oh, Stefan. Frozen.
I'm still here.
Are you there?
I'm still here.
You're frozen.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay, so I want you to sit and look and act like you're sitting across the table from an employer, okay? Yeah, I think you're frozen again though. Okay, so would you be all laid back in a chair and looking over like this?
No.
Does that show you're interested in getting the job?
No.
Let's come back to you when you're not frozen, if that's possible.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, I can't see. I mean, you're just frozen in the spot right now, so I'll come back.
Okay.
Eleanor, are you getting sick?
No.
Okay. So is that your posture you're going to have at an interview? You need to sit facing me, right? Look me in the eyes.
For example.
Okay? Good job. That's the posture you want for an interview right there. So let's see. Eleanor, what machines or equipment can you operate?
I'm frozen now.
Hold on, let me get Eleanor and I'll come right back. It's kind of a hard one, isn't it, Eleanor?
The cat?
Hold on. Let's do this one. So this is to Eleanor. What types of people do you like to work with?
Like I said?
What? No. In a job place, you wouldn't be, I mean, unless it's where your cousin works, you wouldn't be saying that. Right? I like to work with people who... What?
My dad, sister.
No, so it's not going to be people in your family, Eleanor. It's going to be people at the job, unless it's a family-owned company. Like if you went into Taco Bell to work, what kind of people would you like to work with?
Our shoes. Just. Sure.
Okay, we're going to come back.
Jordan.
But I would like to work with nice people who are team players.
Nice people.
Something like that.
With nice people. And nice.
Okay, so we'll work on it. So Stefan, you still look frozen. Are you frozen? Yes.
You can ask me that question.
Okay, well, I'm trying to go in order so everyone gets a little bit of practice here.
Okay.
Okay, but
Can you see moving?
what I really want you to do is study the interview questions that I've already given you. And as soon as I get the copy, I'll start quizzing on those. Okay? But you should have your answers written down and revisit them. Okay? So when you answer these questions quite a ways back, you probably didn't know quite as much as you know now. Them and decide if that's still the best answer, if there's anything you'd like to change or add. Okay? Stefan, I feel bad not going to you, but Sam, let's see what I have next. Sam, how well do you perform under pressure?
Good.
So we're going to need more than a good, right? So you don't have to answer it right now, but I'm just giving you an idea.
I am very good. All right.
You got to give a reason, right? I work well under pressure because I'm able to do this or this, something like that. So they never want one-word answers. And if you recall, when I did this peer review checklist, it says your length of answers. Because they don't want you to go in and give one word because it just doesn't give enough information and you're not really selling yourself that much by giving one word, okay? So no one's in trouble or getting anything wrong. We're just kind of, starting back on something we worked on a little bit before. And we only have 7 minutes. So I'm going to come to Plaid. What would your last employer say about you?
I believe my last employer would say some very good things. Would say some very good things about me.
Yeah, but there's no details. I love the positivity. I love how you don't hesitate to start. But good things about what?
Good things about how. Good things about how I can do my job very well. Let's see. I'm capable of doing. Yeah. Let me reiterate. I believe my last employer can say that I am a hardworking individual, and that I'm capable of doing any task applied to me, and that I can just do whatever I need to, whenever I can, or whenever it is possible for me.
Not when you can or when it's possible. Whenever.
Yeah, I didn't mean those answers.
They don't care about when you feel like it's possible, right? They want you to meet their deadlines, right?
Yeah, I didn't mean that answer.
That's okay, and I'm not trying to pick on you. I mean, there's parts I love of everybody's. Go ahead, John.
One thing about an employer is they want to know if you're if you're going to be on time, and if you're dependable. So I would add that.
Okay, and they don't really care so much what you like or on your timetable or right. It's all about what can you do for them. Why do they love you? Not because I'm charming and I have a nice smile. And, those things help you get through the interview and help you work well with others for sure. But it's still not the priority things that bosses want to hear, right? They want to hear you're, dependable, you're on time, you work well with others, things like that. Yes, Nathan?
One of the things that my dad looks for example, because he's a manager at a grocery store, is flexibility. Are you flexible to meet my needs and my deadlines?
Exactly. They want to know, not what you feel or, they want to know what you can do for them, always. And Kaiser's just like that too. They want to know what you can do for them. Can you meet the deadlines? So like with your schedule, like when I asked Jordan that question about when are you available, you never want to go in a place and say, well, I'd like to work Mondays, Tuesdays, maybe Fridays, but I don't want to start work before 10 and I prefer to be home before it's dark, right? Because that's really limiting what you can do. I mean, if you can say open to close, they like that. I'm available weekends, I'm available holidays. I mean, you have to be honest with yourself, but the more available you are, the more they're gonna like that, right?
Well, I really like to sleep in, so I don't know if I can be there at that time.
Like even when Jordan, you were saying you could start at 9, right? Know the hours of the business before you go into the interview, right? What time does that grocery store open? What time does that restaurant open? And they might want you an hour before that. But yeah, if someplace opens at 7 o'clock, you don't want to say, well, I could get there about 9, right? And chances are you might work some of those 9 o'clock shifts, but you just want to show. And then once you get in a job and you've proved yourself, and then as they have openings for different hours of jobs, right? You can apply for those because I mean, like I've said before, being a teacher, I never had a Monday through Friday job in my life, right? Because I always worked hospitality, so was it important that I could work nights and that I could work weekends and that I could work Christmas and I could work all that? Yeah, back in that kind of work, that was really important. In working in education, right? We're a Monday through Friday kind of a game, right? Not a game, but you know what I mean? That's kind of like our hours. All right, well, I'm going to stop there for now. But when we come back tomorrow to this class, I will have the shorter answers. I would like you all, you're going to do so much better in interviews if you really, really practice. And practice in the mirror and practice in front of your family. With your one-on-ones. The more practice you can get for interviews, the better chance of getting the job. Right? Especially when we're all starting out. I mean, I still get so nervous in an interview at this age and all the jobs I've had. I would still get nervous. And so the more you feel confident about going in there and what your answers are going to be, the better you will do. Okay?
Okay.
So today, what are you working on?
The interview questions.
Interview questions.
Yes, the ones you have. Okay, and who's in the afternoon class, staff-wise? Okay.
Me.
I don't know how that got switched over. Oh, because Yvonne's working with Sam. That's why. Okay. So yeah, interview questions. If you want any pictures in the yearbook, get them over there. And, you know, in your spare time.
So do we email the pictures to Tyler Pierce?
That's what I'm thinking. But don't go crazy on it and don't just send one at a time, right? I mean, he's getting pictures right now from everyone. So we don't want to overbug. And I will make it optional. Go ahead, Yvonne.
Did they ever come out with last year's yearbook?
They did, but we weren't in it.
Hmm.
That's the thing, you know. Sometimes I like it so that we're more a part of it, and sometimes I'm like, well, go ahead, John.
I just want to remind Jonathan that you're my first one at 9:40. Okay. Monday.
Okay.
Got that, Jonathan? You'll be at John's Zoom room in 10 minutes.
I know.
Okay. All right. So those I see in DMV, I'll see later, and those that I don't, I'll see tomorrow morning at 8:30. Hope you have a fabulous day where you get lots of work done. Bye.
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 Yeah.
Bye, everybody.
I should.
Tyler, hey,
Hi.
how you doing?
I'm good.
All right. So, how was your weekend?
It was great.
Yeah, what did you do?
I mostly did chores.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
Let me connect my headphones real quick.
Okay.
Chores are always fun, depending on what chores you're doing, though.
Yeah.
That's still not connected. All right, here we go. Cool. So, it sounds like you have some experience with job interviews.
Yeah, I was in Project Search last year, so I practiced them a bit.
So, what are some of the questions that you remember in your interviews in the past?
Like, tell me something about yourself, and
Yeah, that's a real popular one.
your strengths
I know
and
in
weaknesses.
God.
Sometimes they
Yeah.
ask what your strengths and weaknesses are.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I feel like that's a popular one. Those are ones where I needed to be prepared beforehand. Most of the questions I already got, I'm like, tell me about yourself. I'm like, okay, just go through my experience. And then tell me about your weaknesses. I'm like, well, I hadn't thought about that. I mean, what do you say when they ask you that?
I usually have to think about it first, and then like write them down, and then practice them.
Yeah. The good thing about having sometimes, like, I know that in January last year, I was looking for a job, so I had multiple job interviews. So actually having multiple job interviews helped me because I had already written stuff down from the first job interview I had. So then it prepared me from like the second, third, fourth, fifth. It kind of became like a repetitive, where I was prepared, you know. But some of them asked me different questions, you know, like what would you do in this situation type of question, you know.
Yeah, there's one where they ask, what would you do if there was an angry customer?
Yeah. See, I was just talking to Jordan, and she told me that she worked at Walgreens, so I was like, I knew exactly what questions they asked her.
Yeah.
Just because whenever you work in customer service, they're always going to ask you that question. So that's good that you have that experience. You worked at Walgreens, and then you worked at Eschaton, is that right?
Oh, there's a lot of places.
Where
I
did you
worked
work
at.
at? So you've already been through, like, some of them haven't really gone through job interviews and stuff, but you've been through some stuff.
Yeah.
Sounds like you have some experience.
Yeah.
Is there any questions that like stumped you where you were like weren't prepared for?
I mostly practiced before.
That's good. That's good. That's what I do too. I mean, nowadays, like, if you have an interview, you're going to be on Zoom, right? So I always have like a sticky note ready or something to write with. Yeah, that's really good to be prepared.
And with the workability positions through the school district, a lot of them they didn't have interview questions. They just placed me there, and I did the work.
Oh, okay. Well, that's nice.
But with Project Search, it's different because you have to do the interviews.
Right, because that's real life.
Yeah.
Interviews. Your whole life, whenever you get a job, you're going to have to do interviews. And they're going to always ask you the same types of questions. Like, but I mean, one place I worked at, they were like, because I applied for a management position at a group home, or what was it? It was like a care facility or something. They were like, so what would you do if a client was acting like having a behavior and doing property destruction? I think they asked me, like, if I was stressed out, what would I do? And I think I said, well, I would take a few minutes to take a breather, and then I would get back to work. And I think I didn't get that job. I think that was the wrong question, or I think that was the wrong answer.
Yeah.
Because what I should have said is I should have said, no, I'll fix the problem right then and there. You know what I mean? So I mean, everybody's gonna be tripped up a little bit. But that question, I didn't know. Like, there was no way I could have known they were gonna ask me that.
Yeah.
Because it was just kind of out of the blue. Yeah. So, what other questions? Oh, so that, I mean, at the end of each interview, they always ask you do you have any questions? They're going to ask you that.
Yeah, so you need to be prepared for that.
What are your ideas to answering that question?
I sometimes, I think what I had written down before is like, what do you like best about your job?
Yeah. So, I mean, if you're in an interview, they would ask that. They would ask about. Why would they be asking you that if you don't?
Well, no,
work there
that's
yet?
the question I asked them if they asked, do you have any questions?
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's a really good question, actually. Yeah. I think what my answer was, what is the work environment like? I think another good question is like benefits. What is your pay, first of all? Like, what are your benefits? Is there room to be promoted?
Yeah.
Those are always my questions.
And another one is, what are my responsibilities?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a really good question.
Yeah.
That's just more for you to be prepared, right?
Yeah.
So that you can go home and kind of think about it. And I don't know about you, but I hate being unprepared.
Yeah, me too.
So, I mean, don't you hate it if you go somewhere and you have no idea what you're doing?
Yeah.
Good. So that's a good question. Let's see here. Can you think of any other questions?
I'm not really sure. I don't think I can.
I'll probably ask you what your strengths are.
Oh, yeah.
That always seems easy for me in a job interview because I'm always trying to sell myself. But yeah, then again, when they ask me like my weaknesses, I'm like, that's one I have to write down because I always forget. Because I'm not focused on nobody's focused on their weaknesses when they're going in a job interview.
Another question they would ask you is, why are you a good fit for this job?
Yeah, uh-huh. That is definitely a question they're all going to ask you.
Yeah.
For sure. I mean, what would your answer be, though, to that?
I usually come up with something and I write it down, and then I prepare myself for it.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like you're, that's pretty good that you prepare for your job interview. You know, that's what employers want. They want people that are prepared and are engaged. And so also, maybe we'll go through like from the beginning to end of the interview. So, okay, before you even get to the place, I mean, what do you even look like? What do you dress? How are you dressed? You know?
Yeah, you dress like with a shirt with a collar and a tie and like pants and shoes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So when you walk in, like for me, I applied for STEP, right? I walked into this big office. There's all these people walking around, you know, like I went to the receptionist and I was like, hey, I'm here for the interview. They had me sit there. I mean, you're just sitting there for the interview, right? So what are you doing while you're sitting there? Waiting.
I guess just wait. I don't know.
Yeah. You know what? I got really good advice from my, I think it was my stepdad. And he was telling me about when you walk in, you don't know who anybody is, right? Like people are walking by, like your boss could walk by, you don't even know, right?
Yeah.
So what I did was I was saying hi to everyone. You know, like not everybody, but if somebody comes by and they look like they have authority, you can kind of tell when someone walks by. You're like, oh, they must be like the way they're dressed. They must be like a manager or something.
Yeah.
You always say hi to them, you know. Hi, how are you? Just because you don't know, maybe that's the person that's going to interview you in 10 minutes, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, I always remember if I'm sitting there waiting, I'm not going to just sit there on my phone, right? So it looks like I'm not prepared for the interview.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what are some things you need to take with you, though, during an
portfolio.
interview? Portfolio. What's going to be in your portfolio, though?
A resume and a few copies of your resume, just in case you need to give them a copy of it.
Yeah. Even if you don't have anything in it, carry it with you, just to make you. It looks like you're professional, right? Like,
yeah.
It looks like you're organized.
And you can have notes written down, and so you can reference it while you're in the interview.
Yeah, and then you open it during the interview, right? Have it sitting there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I do. And then, so I mean, so the person says, "Hi, you must be Tyler. Come on in the office," right?
Yeah, and usually you'd shake their hand, but maybe not during the pandemic.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So this is like. What I'm talking about now is like the real world stuff, but yeah, right now you're just gonna be. Well, actually, we should probably talk about Zoom, right? So like, so should you be like sitting like this?
No.
I know that you don't. But you should probably be like sitting up, right?
Yeah.
And like having your whole face in the screen.
Yeah.
Right, and then don't pick your nose or anything.
Yeah.
Of course, I mean, that's obvious, but so what are they gonna do? You're gonna shake your hand, right? And then what do you say to them?
I think you exchange what their names are, and then you say "nice to meet you," and then go to wherever the office is that you do the thing at, or where they ask questions.
Yeah. Yeah, I always kind of like to make small talk a little bit, you know, like if you're walking from the waiting room to the office, I always like to say, you know, oh, how's your day, you know, and kind of be friendly.
Yeah.
Then they know that you're friendly right off the bat, right? You're personable and you're comfortable, and but I mean, again, like, I don't know if in-person interviews are going to be happening for a while.
Yeah.
So this is kind of just to have in your back of your mind, because, I mean, hopefully it all goes back to normal. And we can go back to face-to-face interviews. But yeah, so you walk down the hall, you go in the conference room or whatever. So you're sitting there. So what do you look like? What do you look like? Like, what is your posture? You know?
You sit up and like give your full attention to the person who's interviewing you.
Right. So you're not going like this, but you're like making eye contact. Very attentive, right? I mean, for me, I just turned my phone off. I turned my phone off during an interview because
it's distracting.
That would be very embarrassing if your phone started ringing.
Yeah.
You know? One thing that happened to me actually is I had this ringtone. It was like a hard rock kind of a ringtone, and it was really loud. I was actually in an interview. I worked for an agency, so it was me and the boss, and we were interviewing a client, and my phone went off, and it was like, like I think it was probably like AC/DC or something like that. So I was like, oh, I'm sorry. I had to turn it down. But I always learned from that, like always turn down your phone, right?
Yeah.
Because my boss was like, what was that? Like, okay, I'm sorry. I can usually just kind of polish it over because I have that kind of personality.
Yeah.
But some people are like, oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, okay, I'll turn it off. And that makes it more awkward.
Yeah.
But like, okay, so yeah, so posture, eye contact. What else? So they're asking you questions. I don't know. I think just kind of polishing your delivery is pretty good. You know, like having everything that we're going to say in order, right? So, like when they ask you, tell me about yourself. I know that Sherry was saying you should say like, you know, I like to take long walks or I like to ride bikes. Me personally, like I would not say that in a job interview. I would go straight for my experience.
Yeah, I think
what I've
they're
done.
different questions. Like one of them is like, what are your hobbies, and then other one is like.
Yeah. So if they ask you your hobbies, tell them. You know.
Yeah.
And I don't see anything really wrong with what Stefan said. But actually, I would leave out the video games. I wouldn't say that I like to watch TV or play video games. I would say, you know, I think I like to play the guitar. I would add that. Say something like that, because that's actually something like you're doing creatively.
Yeah.
You're using your intelligence for, right? Like you're not showing off your intelligence by saying you played video games, right? In a professional atmosphere, they're not going to be impressed by that. They're gonna, because they want people that are super competent and super active, you know.
Yeah.
For me, actually, if you say you know like to play video games, it might be a negative thing. It's just my opinion. Of course, I'm always right. You know that. Okay.
Unless it's like part of your job, but I mean, there's not many jobs.
It's part of your job, yeah.
It's different.
Yeah. For me, I'm always I want to impress the person.
Yeah.
So like, video games to me is not impressive. Like they're not gonna.
Yeah.
They're not gonna be like, oh, that's interesting. You play video games? Wow. Okay, so when they ask you, they're like, "Tell me about yourself." What would you start with?
I would say, well, it depends. Yeah, I have it written down. I just need to pull it up.
Oh yeah, no problem. I mean, for me, I have everything memorized because I've had so many interviews.
So for the tell me about yourself, I have written down, I am very organized and open to learning new skills. I am a quick learner and I am a good problem solver.
Yeah. And then let's just say you were applying for, let's just say you have a lot of retail experience, right?
Yeah.
Which sounds like you have some. And then you're applying for another retail place. I would definitely mention, let's just say you have 5 years in retail experience. I would definitely mention that first. I would be like, well, I have 5 years. I have 5 years experience in retail. I've done this. I've done this. I've done this. I've done this. You know. I've worked here. I've worked here. You know, like.
But if they see that on your
kind of in a
resume,
nutshell.
then would it be kind of redundant?
Well, I mean, you can only mention a couple places when they ask you that, you know, or you can kind of give them a quick, like I said, in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Actually, I agree with you about not saying everything. You would say, well, you would definitely start with, I have 5 years experience in the retail industry. I've worked in several settings in retail, including, and then I would name a few. I would name, I've worked in management, I've done cashier, I've done this, you know. But I would just keep it short, but I would have that all, because that's impressive that if you've worked somewhere for like 5 years, that's impressive.
Yeah.
Because that's actually what they're looking for. They're looking for somebody that has experience, right?
Right.
So yeah, I would actually, like you said, I would keep it short. You don't have to name everything, but I would definitely, be telling them that you have like experience.
Yeah.
And like I have 10 years experience, so I'm for sure gonna be telling them about that, because that's gonna be impressed. They're gonna be like, wow, 10 years, okay. So yeah, anything that is gonna impress them, I would tell them in that situation.
All right.
Okay, so let's see here. So they're asking you, tell me about yourself. I'm trying to think of any questions we didn't go through, because we went through quite a few already. Okay, so I mean after the interview, right? So you get up and you say, thank you so much for taking your time. I appreciate it. And then you go home, right? So then you haven't heard from them for 3 or 4 days, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, what do you think you should do after you haven't heard from them?
Call them?
Yeah, you could call them. That's going to really make them, let them know that you are still interested, and that you're making an effort to get back to them. Everybody has their different styles. I like to email first, because that way I get to use a professional format. There's a certain way you write an email that I like. That seems professional to me. But also, yeah, if they don't get back to you then after that, then you can call, right? If they don't get back to you after that, I usually just assume that they're not going to hire me after that.
Yeah.
You know, I do the email and I do the call, and then after that, I'm like, okay, well, I guess I didn't get it. You know. On to the next interview. Well, yeah, I mean, I feel like we went over everything. Is there anything that you wanted to mention about interview process?
I don't think so.
Let's think here. So, I mean, you've had tons of experience, so, and then also we just went over it. I think we pretty much went over everything.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, is there anything else you want to talk about?
No.
Okay. You're like, no. Okay, all right, Tyler. Well, I'm going to let you go then.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I hope you have a good rest of your day.
You too.
And I will talk to you. I don't know when I'll talk to you. Maybe tomorrow.
All right.
Are you coming to my class tonight or today? At 11:40? We're going to be talking about interviews, so. I'm not sure. I know Sherry said that I have a thing at 11:40, and I think it's just to help you guys with that. But I mean, me and you already talked about it, so I'm not sure if she wants you to be in that or not.
Well, I'm in Sherry's DMV thing.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, I hope you have a good time at the DMV thing.
All right.
Okay. Take care, Tyler.
You too.
Bye.
Bye. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to back to the Zoom meetings. I wonder if I should have it on auto or should I? Fuck, I don't want to do that. Oh, I see. Okay, no, I don't want. No. I like having background noises. Besides, this microphone doesn't have background noise. It's good.
Hello. I think we're missing somebody. Hi.
Hello, Sherry.
And yep, Jonathan. No shock. Okay. All right. Hi, everybody.
Hello, Sherry.
Boy,
Hello,
this
Sherry.
is hard to do on the fly. Andrew, I talked to you about this 2 days already now. It is when I have this 2 hours in between class, I'm actually creating the assignments. I am doing a bazillion things. And you want to text me like I'm your one-on-one. Okay,
Right.
let's see how many texts you texted me during this 2 hours. I'm trying to actually type this test today, okay? So let's just take a little look because this can't happen, guy. If you're done, awesome, you're done. Take a little break, okay? So the amount of texts I had from you today is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 texts in 2 hours, okay? I can't do that. Okay, I was trying to make you all a test. I only got to 10 questions. I'm sitting here trying to type like a maniac, okay? And you just keep, and you're not the only one, but you're the only one that does it 5, 6, 7, and 8 times. So please stop that. Okay? Thank you. Whew. You have no idea what happens in 2 hours here. Okay. Were you all able to open the link from test number 2?
Yes.
And if not,
Yes.
I retyped it and sent it again through email. Okay? And then I was trying to work on this one. For one thing, I can't go fancy with the PowerPoints at this point, okay? I'm just going to type the questions. I have them up to share with you, and we'll go from there. Does anyone have any questions on test 1 or test 2? Jordan, were you able to see test 2 and work on that?
Oh, I didn't get test 1 or test 2 in my email.
I think you should check again and talk with John because I send you everything. I did not send you this one yet. I haven't sent it to anyone yet. I'll send it as soon as we're done with class, okay? But you should check your emails because I sent you all this when I sent it to all them, even though I knew you weren't here Friday, just so you have it. Go ahead, Nathan.
I don't believe I got the link for test 2, but I will definitely do it today after class.
Okay, but I also retyped it and sent it to an email.
Okay.
So I don't know if an email that you can answer on there, but I wanted you to be able to have it because people were having a hard time with it. Okay? Anybody else have questions about 1 or 2? Anybody feel slammed or like it's too easy?
I feel fine with these tests.
Okay. Well,
I don't have any problems.
okay, good. So yeah, just get them turned into me, and then I'm gonna open up this test. I'm gonna share my screen with you. Jordan requested to view. So it looks like you tried to open it, Jordan. And someone else, Jonathan, requested to view, but nobody else needed to do that, right? On the link?
For DMV test 2?
I just found test 2 that you emailed me, but I never got the email of the test 1. I looked all through my email and I never got it.
All right, let me write to my notes here. Okay. Sorry, guys. Email Jordan DMV1. Okay. And if you can't open that link for the second one, I sent it just in email. Okay, sorry. This is also Mondays and Tuesdays are really hard with Tony because he like gets picked up or dropped off in the middle of our class. Thursday and Friday is pretty easy. Today, I actually in 9 minutes and 45 seconds, I'm gonna have to go away for about 5 minutes, but you may all talk amongst yourselves, okay?
All right.
And then when these tests that I give you, I mean, you can sit there and you can scribble down all the right answers when we go through them, but personally, I don't think you're going to learn as much, right? I'd rather you have mistakes if you're not sure, and then I can help you correct them. I can't stop you, obviously, from writing down all the answers because I can't control what you're doing out there, but I just honestly think you'll learn more if you don't write down all the answers and just try to take in what you can when we're having our class, okay? So, I'm going to share screen. Another thing I was looking through, I have this huge DMV book, and it seems like every test has so much repetition.
Yeah, that sounds pretty normal.
Yeah, there was so much. So I'm actually, as I'm doing test 3, I hit 3, 4, and a little bit of 5 to get these 10 questions. Okay, do you want me to do it this size or so I can see you, or do you want me to make it big? Make it big?
Make
This
it big.
size is fine for me.
Let's see what happens if we make it big.
All right, so this will go. Oh, and see, it even messed up. I had a lot of frustration with font and stuff this morning. Okay, so number 1 on test 3 says, you may not park your vehicle, A, on the side of the freeway in an emergency, B, next to a red painted curb, or C, within 100 feet of an elementary school. What do y'all think? Go ahead, Nathan.
If I remember correctly, I believe it's B. The reason why is because the firefighters need to get through there to put out the fire, because next to the painted red line is the fire hydrant. And
Yeah, and if you think of it like we talk about traffic lights and stuff with red means stop, don't go there. Right? So if it's a red lane, don't go there. So you are correct. Number 2, 2 sets of solid double yellow lines that are 2 or more feet apart. A, may be crossed to enter or exit a private driveway. B, may not be crossed for any reason, or C, should be treated as a separate traffic lane. Any thoughts? Go ahead, Andrew.
I'll say it's B.
Okay. Anyone else have a different opinion? And Devin, I can't see you or you, Jonathan. So if you two want to say something, shout it out because I won't see your hand up.
I can see you.
Okay, I can't see you though, so I can't see if your hand's up. Okay, so does anyone else think that it's not B?
Let me see. I also believe it's B.
Yes, that is the right answer. It is B.
When those double yellow lines are there, they are staying there.
That's right. Don't go in them. Don't cross over them. Leave them alone. Almost like that red curb. Don't go there.
Yep.
All right. Yeah, I don't know what happened to this.
I mean, if you think of it, it is a bit of a different color anyway, so besides red, it's actually a different color.
Well, yeah, but I mean, yes, red is stop. Okay, I'm just saying double. Okay, Andrew.
Sorry.
I don't know that I'm be able to go 3 today. I just don't know. Okay. Number 3, you want to make a right turn at an upcoming intersection. You should slow down and A, move toward the left side of your lane. B, avoid driving in the bicycle lane. Or C, signal for 100 feet before turning. Go ahead, Nathan.
I believe it would be C. You want to signal 100 feet before you turn.
Okay. Anyone else agree or disagree?
I think the answer will be C.
Good. Perfect. That is right. And why do you signal before you turn?
So then that way the person knows where you're going and you do not cause an accident.
Yeah, you're letting the other drivers know your intentions. Okay?
They can't read your mind.
A, in an unmarked crosswalk. B, within 3 feet of a private driveway. Or C, in a bicycle lane. And I actually had a problem with this one because I think there's 2 of them.
Answers?
But the one they give me in the DMV book, I mean, it makes sense, but another one makes a lot of sense to me too. So, what do y'all think?